the young and the restless spoilers. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is Tuesday, a beautiful day outside, but we are stuck inside staring at the screen. Running on way too much coffee and honestly just feeling a bit exhausted by the absolute chaos happening in Genoa City right now. Let's just dive right in because there is so much to unpack today and the drama is just spinning out of control. And let's be real, we need to talk about Victor and Nikki Newman. I am so mad at Victor right now. I really am. Last week we saw Nikki suffering from these massive, blinding headaches. She is terrified. She legitimately thinks she is dying. And what does Victor do? Does he comfort her? Does he act like a normal, loving husband who is scared of losing his wife? No. He plays the doting husband just long enough to manipulate her into signing a medical power of attorney. But we all know Victor. It wasn't just a medical document. It was a trap. He literally transferred all of her personal Newman Enterprises shares into a trust that he completely controls. He is drugging her. He is heavily sedating his own wife and liquidating her assets while she is lying there thinking she is at death's door. Victoria is starting to catch on. Thank goodness. She sees him looting her mother's estate before Nikki even takes her last breath. It is disgusting. Honestly, what were the writers thinking making Victor this evil again? I mean, I know he is ruthless, but this is his wife, the love of his life. Okay, maybe I'm being too harsh. Victor always thinks he knows best, but this is just sick. I mean, who actually believes this is going to end well? Nobody. That's who. But here is the thing. While we are all watching Victor pull this evil corporate theft, there is a massive ticking time bomb that I think everyone is forgetting about. And I mean everyone. Even the fans on social media seem to have forgotten, but I haven't. Let's rewind. Let's go all the way back to 2009. Do you guys remember what happened in 2009? Patty Williams. Patty shot Victor. He was dying. He literally needed an emergency heart transplant to survive. And he got one. He got Colleen Carlton's heart. Colleen died tragically, and her heart went to the great Victor Newman. That was over 15 years ago. Transplant organs do not last forever. They just don't. So what if the show is gearing up for a massive twist? What if Victor's body is finally starting to reject Colleen's heart? This is the kind of long-term storytelling that soaps used to do so well. And I am praying they are going there now. Especially since Patty Williams is back in town right now, literally blackmailing Jack Abbott for sex while holding Diane hostage. The history is all coming back around. Just imagine it. Victor is so busy playing God. He is so busy gaslighting Nikki, stealing her money, and fighting with everyone that he is completely ignoring his own body. He is probably having symptoms right now: fatigue, dizziness, shortness of breath, chest pain. But he is Victor Newman. He doesn't go to the doctor for a little chest pain. He just drinks a scotch, yells at Adam, and tells everyone he is fine. He is pouring all his energy into this sick plot to control Nikki's estate, refusing to admit that he is the one who is actually failing. It is so typical Victor. He always puts his own control over everything else until it is almost too late. He thinks he is invincible, but his body is human. That heart is human. And it has been beating inside his chest for a very long time. I can just see him standing in his office, clutching his chest, and then waving it off like it's nothing. But it's not nothing. It's his heart. And it is giving out. And then, the collapse. I can see the scene playing out right now. Nikki is in her bed, drugged out of her mind, and Victor is standing there in his suit, probably looking at his phone and checking stock prices, counting the money he just stole from his sick wife. And then suddenly, bam, he just collapses. He drops right to the floor. The great Victor Newman, brought down by a failing heart. And then the doctors rush in. And instead of telling the family about Nikki, they have to deliver the worst news possible about Victor. His transplanted heart is failing. His body can't take it anymore. He needs a second transplant to survive. It turns this whole tragic situation with Nikki into an absolute nightmare for the entire family. Can you imagine the look on Victoria's face? She goes from being suspicious that her dad is stealing her mom's money, to finding out her dad is literally dying on the floor. It is a lot. It is so messy. And you know what that means. You guys know exactly what that means on a soap opera. A medical emergency means a search for a donor, and a search for a donor means DNA tests. The doctors are going to tell the family that finding a match in time is almost impossible, so they have to test the blood relatives. Nick, Victoria, Adam, Abby, Claire. They are all going to get dragged into this massive medical investigation. They have to drop all their corporate fighting and fight for Victor's life. But let's be real, whenever Y&R does widespread DNA testing, things get messy, really, really messy. Secrets come out, truths are exposed. What if the test results come back and someone is not actually a match? What if someone is not actually his kid? Or what if some random, unknown kid pops up out of nowhere as the only viable donor? I mean, Y&R loves a good secret child storyline. They have built decades of drama on these kinds of twists. This scenario practically writes itself. I would honestly love to see it. It would shake up the entire Newman family dynamic forever. Think about Adam. Adam is always the outcast. What if Adam is the only match? What if he has to decide whether to save the father who has treated him like garbage for years? Or what if it's Claire, the new girl in town? The possibilities are just endless. And what about Nick? Nick is already a psychological mess right now trying to deal with Matt Clark's fake amnesia. If Nick finds out his dad is dying, he might just completely snap. And it gets even crazier. What if Victor's health crisis reopens the whole mystery around Colleen Carlton's death? Think about it. The doctors are going to have to pull his original transplant files from 2009. And what if they find something weird, missing paperwork, incomplete reports, unanswered questions about how he actually got that heart? Did Victor pull some shady strings back then? Probably. He is Victor. He always pulls shady strings. Suddenly, a storyline that we all thought was closed 15 years ago is front and center again. I love when the show digs into its own history like this. It makes longtime fans like us feel rewarded for paying attention all these years. Tracy Abbott is already going through hell right now dealing with Patty Williams and trying to find Diane. If Colleen's heart becomes a major plot point again, Tracy's grief would resurface in such a powerful way. Jack would be furious. The Abbotts and the Newmans would be at each other's throats, not over a company, but over a heart. It is just brilliant drama. But the real emotional payoff here is between Victor and Nikki. Just picture this. Nikki is prepping for her treatments, terrified of her own brain, convinced she is dying. Victor is waiting for a new heart, his body shutting down. They are both quite literally facing death. They are both wondering if they are going to survive the week. And for the first time in years, all the corporate garbage fades away. No more Newman Enterprises drama. No more fighting with the Abbotts. No more stealing her shares. And yeah, Victor really needs to apologize for that. He needs to beg for forgiveness for drugging her and taking her assets. But in that hospital room, it is just the two of them. To people who have loved each other, hurt each other, and survived each other for decades, they are facing the very real possibility that they might lose each other forever. I can see Victor sitting by her bed, looking so weak and frail, finally admitting what actually matters. He might finally confess to what he did with her shares. He might actually show some real vulnerability for once in his stubborn life. A heartfelt confession on the edge of tragedy. It would be one of the most emotional nectar moments we have ever seen on daytime TV. It would remind all of us why they are the most iconic couple on the show. I don't know if the writers will actually do this, but they should. It is exactly the kind of messy, emotional, high-stakes drama that we all tune in for. We are tired of the boardroom musical chairs. We are tired of the constant corporate takeovers. We want real human stakes. We want life and death. And if Victor's heart starts failing while Nikki is battling her own demons, we are going to get exactly that. So yeah, I am just going to sit here and hope the writers are smart enough to go down this road, because if they do, the Newman family will never, ever be the same. Anyway, I am rambling now, but you guys get what I mean. Let's just hope they give us the drama we deserve.